For this project, I decided to go with the NBA players dataset because it looks more relatable, I guess. It makes more sense to me. So, yeah, I just copied this. I'm gonna go and paste it over here. I'll delete this over here, paste it there. So it's a really, really long data set. And it has the player name, it has the team they are in. So let's see. So we have the first row. You know, I could just select it and see it there instead of reading it from here. So I can do select. Let's do everything from, not everything. Hold up. Let me add a limit. So limit like 10, and then I can be like select, because there's like 1,300 rows. I'm not gonna output all of that. So select everything from, what's it called? Players. I'm not sure though if I have to put, is limit supposed to be afterwards? Let's see. So select everything from players, limit 10. Let me search up limit SQL, because I know that it works for the other SQL. I don't even know there's like 5,000 SQLs. Okay, where is the limit here? How do I use limit? Because I've only used it with mode. So let's see. Limit and then number. So it has to be after. And it has to be within the select statement. Okay, so then I get rid of this. And there we go. Beautiful. So apparently it has to be within the select statement. So here are the first 10 rows in the data frame. So I have Norman Powell. He's in the Toronto Raptors, the Conference East, date March 2020, position, and then height, weight, age, draft year, seasons in league, season, the current season, the season short, the pre-draft team, real value, the height, centimeters, and then the weight in kilograms, I guess, and then the last season. All right, so I can do some stuff with this data set. The first 10 rows, let's do some analysis. So first thing, it says, all right, use advanced select queries to discover things about the data. What sort of questions might one have about the data? Like if they were using it for an app or a business data or a business idea, here are some ideas. So what are average, max, and minimum values in the data? Okay, so I guess I can find the average of their, let's see, of their height, weight, and age. So I can say, and put some here, some space. I can say select, let's see, average as an aggregating function, what I want to find the average of. So for me, that would end up being, why is it not letting me scroll up? It's not letting me do anything right now. Okay, so what's the column name? Height, okay. So select the average height from players and a limit to like 5. So if I scroll all the way down, I think I'll be able to see that. I actually don't need to limit unless I group by, so let me not do that. All right, so that's the average height. So the average height of this of NBA players from these data from this data is about 6 feet. Okay, so that's the average height. I could also find the average weight, and then I can also find the average age. So the average, let's say weight, and then the average, what's the other one? Age. All right. So the average weight is, whoa, what are the, okay, I guess 224 pounds? Is it in pounds? Yep. Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So then the average age is 27 years old, rounded. All right. So this kind of, I don't know what you can do with this data. I guess if you're doing like a school project and you're like, oh, let me try to find some data. You know how you always end up like searching for like some stats like, oh, what's the average, how do you, like what's the average age people are in the NBA? I guess you could just find it out yourself with SQL, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, the average age is about 27, average weight is 225, and then the average height is 6 feet. All right, what else? So what about those numbers per category in the data using having? Okay. Let's see if I could find an average that's not height, weight, or age. Maybe I can do the average seasons in the league. So I could also select the average. What's the column name though? I'm gonna have to get it from here. Seasons in league from players. This thing is like so slow right now. Okay. So the average season in leagues, or seasons in the league is about 6 seasons. So the average season, or no, the average NBA player makes no, how do I word that? An NBA player has, or the NBA players have an average of 6 seasons in their leagues, I guess. All right, so that's in one thing. Let's look at some other stuff. I think I'm gonna change this to be like two because I don't want to look at so many. There we go. All right, so let me see. So I have age, draft year, seasons in league, season short, pre-draft, real value, and then the height in centimeters, and then the weight in kilograms, and then last season. I'm trying to see if the real value is something that changes. So I'll say real value to find the average real value of the NBA players. From players, see what that gives me. All right, so the average real value of a player is about 0.7. All right, so that's one thing. If we want to find, let's say, the player who is, I guess, who has the smallest height, we could do that. I could do select the name. Is that what it's called? Name or player? I think it's called player. Select the player, column names in lowercase, from players where, well, I can select the player and then the minimum height from players, and then it should output the minimum height from the data set and then the name of the player that corresponds to that minimum height. Okay, so I'll wait for that to happen. Oh wow, so there's multiple people with the same height. That's, whoa, okay. Well, obviously, that makes sense, but these are all of their heights. If I also want to look at their heights, I think I did output them, did I not? It's just so slow that I can barely see the results. Let me see. All right, so I don't know what just happened, but like I have one player, which is Michael Adams, who's 5'10", and I'm assuming there's more players who have that height because I don't know. They just they appeared, so I'm confused now. What if I say select player where height is equal to that? Or probably should have been like select player and put this after here. Select player from players where height is equal to 5'10", just to kind of make sure. So I'll wait for that to happen. Oh yeah, so Michael Adams is the only one that shows up, and he actually shows up 2 times. So that's interesting. So we have duplicates in this data. Okay, so apparently there's only one player in this whole data set who's 5'10", apparently. That's interesting. I thought there would be like a lot of people with, the same height. All right, I guess I could find the player who has the greatest height, so I can select the player from players, or I could just say the player, so the name, and then the maximum height from players, which is a table, the data set name. So I'll wait for that to pop up. All right, so we have Gallinini has a height of 7'6". I actually want to see that. Oh, I've seen him before. Yep. All right, that's cool. All right, so that's that. Let's see. What else can we look at? So we have the minimum, the maximum, the average. Okay, what about those numbers per category in the data using having? I don't know. I haven't used having in a while, so let's see if I remember. I don't even remember. I think I use having when I use group by. So I guess let's see. I can do I can figure out who's in um I can group the data set by the team so I can figure out who's in the same team. So I'll do select. I want the player and I also want the team. And then I'll say from players um group by team, and then I probably should say limit like 10 for now because this thing is like gonna crash, honestly. I probably should go to another like IDE because this is just really slow right now. Alright, so let's hope for the best and hope this thing doesn't. Okay, here we go. It's doing its thing, it's doing its analysis. Well, that doesn't make sense because now I do have them grouped by team, but I'm only getting like one person per team. Or am I not? Because I see Toronto Raptors at the top and I do see it at the bottom. So maybe that's not exactly what I want. Maybe what I want is to look at the people who are on Toronto Raptors. So I'll copy this and then I'll be like, okay, let's do select player from the table players where their team is equal to Toronto Raptors. Where is there an error? Oh, group by team. Oh, that's why. It's because I didn't have where. Select player and then team from players, group by team, limit 10. I'm so confused. What if I reload? Oh, okay, it's doing its thing. I think that's it. So it's giving me the teams and it's giving me players, but it's not exactly what I want. So I'll paste this in here and it should now give me the players who are only in the Toronto Raptors. So all of these players are in the Toronto Raptors, and if I want to see that to make sure, I can also select the column team so I can see that they are all in Toronto Raptors. All right, beautiful. So now I can see all of the players who are in Toronto Raptors. So that's one thing. And then maybe where I could use group by is if I want the count of players, so I can select count star. So count everything from players having. I don't even know. I generally forgot how to use having, to be honest with you. I just know that if you use where, okay, it's kind of like using, kind of like having, but with group by, but I'm not using group by, so it's the problem. So I'm trying to count, so count everything from the players having Toronto Raptors. Is that what it is? But I doubt there's 1,344 players here. Let's see. Maybe there is. I doubt that though. I don't think that's 1,344. Is it because I gave it a limit? No, I didn't give it a limit there. A group by clause is required before having. See, that's what I said. I knew it. Where? What if, oh, there we go. Now that makes sense. So it makes sense these are 38. So basically, they have 38 NBA players in the Toronto Raptors. Although what doesn't make sense is that Vince Carter is repeated like 5,000 times. And Kyle Lowry and Chris Bosh. And DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan. I don't even know. Okay, so that's weird. Oh, it's probably because it's by season. Hold up. Let me look at the data. So there is seasons in league and then the season. Are there different types of season? I can select. I wish I could select like a random sample so I could see. Select what's the data called? I mean the column. Season draft year? Season short season. Okay, it's just called season. So I'll select season from players and then I'll limit to like 20. So I changed it to 50 to give me more results. And yeah, it turns out I believe it's because it depends on seasons. So I have 2018 to 2019 and then 2019 to 2020. So then it makes sense that these people are being repeated multiple times because I'm assuming that the SQL is only looking for the team for the player who has a team Toronto Raptors despite it despite the season, like it's not taking into regard the season because I didn't tell it to. So Vince Carter might be like, have like different seasons. That's why he's popping up so many times. So to fix this query, I would have to specify the season. So I would have to be like, okay, I want to see the Toronto Raptor players who were in season like 2018 to 2019. So I can do like and season is equal to the following. So let's see if that works out better. All right, so now we have 3, but I kind of meant to put that also here at the top and paste that in there. Also, so I could see that being updated. All right, beautiful. So now we have, wait, no, we still have, wait, how in the world? Can you be, I know nothing about basketball, so like, can you be in the same team? Maybe it's just a duplicate because how is it possible that he shows up 2 times in the same season? Like, what? Yeah, maybe it's because I don't know anything about basketball. Because I'm thinking that if you're in the season of 2018 to 2019, then you're there. Like, you can't be there twice. Like, how does that make sense? Like what? Okay, so I guess we still fixed it though. If I want to do like let's say what is it, 2019 to 2020, which I believe this data set does have. I could also look at that. So 2019 to like 2020 to see who was in the Toronto Raptors during those seasons and I'll have to update. So apparently 4 and we'll see what the actual results are and who the players are. So we have Norman Powell, Toronto Raptors, and then actually to make things even more for like for proof, I'll actually put the season also so that I could see that the season is 2019 and 2020. So we have the player Norman Powell, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam. See, this one I'm not understanding. Why? How are they repeated two times? Like, can you not only participate in one season once? Like, how do you show up twice? Interesting. All right, so that's that, I guess. What else can we do with this data set? So I do have to use having. Did I use having? I did not use having. I think I could use having with this. So here I selected the player and then the team from the players, and then I grouped them by team. Let me just copy and paste this. I don't know. And see what that gives me again. Okay, so we grouped by team. Can I just do like maybe I want the count of all of the players in the teams. So maybe I'll select the count. Can I do count of player? And then the team. So, oh, that's nice. Much more sense. That makes so much more sense. So I have the number of players in that certain team within the entire data set. And then I'm limiting that to 10. So obviously there's more because obviously there's 1,382 values. So I'm grouping by the team. I'm going to label this as number of players. All right, a little bit of practice for that. And then I could say from players group by team, and then maybe I'll say having season. I'm not sure if this is good, but I'll try it 2019 to 2020. So I want to find the number of players in all of the teams in the season of 2019 and 2020. Let's see if that actually works. So nothing is showing up, so maybe this part is wrong. Because I genuinely, I'm telling you, I really did forget how to play. I mean, how to use having. Because it's like the first thing I learned and I forgot it, honestly. What if I do 2018 to 2019? I'm not sure if it's the season that's lacking or if it's my syntax that's lacking. It's probably my syntax because if I say where and then I put this in, I'm pretty sure it would work because that makes sense. Maybe I should just go back and look at my notes for having. If I could search them all pulled up. SQL. Let's see. Search having. All right. Use group by having operators to determine which students read the most words from a classroom. Okay, let me look at the code I wrote. All right, so here's a quick example. So I have a logs, or I have a log of students, I guess. And I have a name and then the words that they read. So I'm selecting the name and then the sum of the words that they read from the table, and I'm grouping by the name, and then I'm saying having words read be blah blah blah. So maybe it's a numerical thing. Is that the problem? How about, okay, so I'm selecting the counts of players from players, okay, and the team from players, and then I'm grouping by the team so I can get how many players were in each team. And this is obviously not working. So I guess I'll say having, but that doesn't make sense. I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm grouping the players, so I can't really work with that. I could take the, let's see, I could take the average of their height and then be like, no, that doesn't make sense either. how can I apply this here? So I took the sum of the words read to see, oh, it's because they have multiple logs, that's why. Oh. But I know in this data set they have multiple seasons that they're written for. So maybe I can say, but they're categorical. I don't know. The sum of the dates or the count of the dates, right? The count of the dates, and I could say as seasons and then group by blah blah having the count be greater than one. Oh, so I can figure out perfect. I can figure out how many duplicates there are. Beautiful. Let me try doing that. So I will select the count of the season. So that's going to be season from players having the count or having, hmm, or maybe, okay, so having count, how am I supposed to actually count? It's not a variable. Having words read. Oh, it's because I'm renaming it. I am kind of making it something. So, um, number of duplicates. So then I could say having the number of duplicates. Wait, it's probably easier if I put num of dupes, and then I could just be do the same thing here. So it'd be like num of dupes greater than 1. So I'm trying to figure out, let's see. So I'm selecting the count of season, how many counts of the season show up, and I actually need to group them by player. So group by player, having number of dupes is greater than 1. So having basically it's going to output the players who are mentioned more than one season. Like for example, if they have 2018 to 2019 season and then they have it again, they show up again like in the same season within the same team. Well, maybe not within the same team because I haven't added that. But their name should show up. And this thing is like so slow. It's like still it's like I don't even know what it's doing. Okay. So I'm selecting the count of the seasons. So that would be like 2018, 2019, whatever. And I'm labeling it number of dupes from players from the players, and I'm grouping by the player and then having number of dupes greater than equal to 1. So I actually probably should add, there we go, it finally shows up. I should add the player so I could see their names, right? And most importantly, limit by 10 because this thing is going to go a little crazy. Limit by 10. Okay, so I have the first 10 rows. So for example, Aaron McKee, he has one, I guess, number of dupe. Oh, my bad. Hold up. I did this. This is supposed to go here. Okay, let me do this again. All right. So things are fine now. So number of dupes 5. Adrian Dantley. Is that what his name is? Yes. Has 5 number of dupes. If I want to see how many, let's say NBA players have exactly like 3 seasons. This is actually not even counting the number of dupes. It's honestly just counting how many seasons they have, literally. So Horford has exactly 3 seasons. So instead of this, honestly, let me just write number of seasons played Num seasons played. I think that makes much more sense. Let me paste that in there. All right, so to summarize, I'm selecting the number of seasons and I'm labeling it num seasons played. So it's a column, right? And I'm also selecting the player names from the table players, and then I'm grouping by the players. So I so I'm grouping by the players, and then who have the number of seasons played equal to 3. So basically, Al Horford, Alvin Robertson, Andrew Bynum, Ernest Gilmore all have played 3 seasons, exactly 3 seasons. If I want to say, let's say, greater than or equal to, let's say, 10, I could also do that to see how many players have played more than 10 seasons. Allen Iverson played 23 seasons. Not sure why Aaron McKee. Oh, much more. Okay, that makes much more sense. I'm like, what? So Allen Iverson has played 23 seasons. Carmelo Anthony has played 19 seasons. Charles Barkley 11 seasons, and so on and so on. So that's another little query. All right, so exciting. I'm really happy that I was like able to use having because I generally forgot. Literally, thank God for my little notes. Okay, so what's the next thing? What ways are there to group the data values that don't exist yet using the case? Ugh, really? I literally just learned this yesterday, so let's see. So it's kind of like if then in Python. So let me think. If I don't know, like I have the height and I have the weight, so maybe I can do like a BMI. I've done it before actually. Let me look the body mass index chart. No, I want like the chart. No, can I get the chart? Like why is nobody giving me the chart right now? Like I just need the chart. Okay. All right, so here's the case scenario. Let's say I'm a doctor, physician, whatever. I'm trying to determine whether the NBA players are underweight, normal, overweight, or obese based on their body mass index, which I have to get from calculations with the weight and the height. So it turns out that the body mass index is equal to the weight in kilograms. Oh, that's why they added the kilograms. Divided by meter. What is your height in meters squared? No way. Is that why they had it like that? I'm pretty sure they have meters squared. They have weight kilograms and then they have height in centimeters. So I'll have to oh, this is so much stuff. I have to convert the height into meters and then I have to multiply it. No, then I have to square it and then I have to multiply it times weight and then and add that to a new column. And then once I do that, then I have to use case. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna get this done today. I have so much other stuff to do. Okay, hold up. Um, I mean, sure. Okay, so first things first, I have to convert to meters, these centimeters, meaning that I have to divide the what do I have again? Centimeters. I have to divide by 100 to get the meters. Okay, so let's do that, I guess. So select the height in centimeters. And then let's see, from players limit 10. So I'll select the height from players, blah, blah, blah. And then not only will I select the height, but I'll select the height and then divide by 100. Does that even make sense? Is that even possible? I don't even know if I'm doing proper syntax right now. And then I'll save that as a new column called height in meters. Actually, I think I needed to do the opposite. I think I needed to multiply by 0.001. 0.01. That's what I had to multiply. All right, beautiful. Now I'm getting my stuff. And then I'm not sure if I want to round. Maybe I want to round. Let me add a round there just for the fun of it. All right, and then I have this new column called height in meters. So now that I have the height in meters, I can square that. So now I have to take, so I have to select, I'm not sure that, oh, wrong thing. What is this? No. Um, I'm not sure if I can select from it now. Really not sure. Maybe I could just get it all in one go and just do squared. Is that how you square? I know that's how you square in Python. I don't know how to use square in SQL. And I'll just call this height meters squared. Why is it not letting me? Okay, whatever. Squared. Okay. So let me just Google that real quick. Squaring in SQL. Oh, I have to square that. Okay. It's funny. Right. So, not doing this. Instead, I have to, and probably instead of rounding, maybe I'll just put it within here and I'll do like square. I'll square it first and then I'll round the answer. So I'm squaring first and then I'm rounding the answer. But you just said there's a function called square. Literally, like the square function, which is the square of a number. Is it pow? Power function? No. Oh, the power function returns the value of a number raised to the power of another number. So power and then number and then the exponent. I guess I could do that one because it's just squared, so I could do that. So for me, that would be power, and then this would be its whole thing, and then the number I want to square would be 2. Well, now it's telling me there's no function such as power. So what in the world am I supposed to do? Literally says there's this function such as power. Select power 83. Is it because it's a different type of SQL? How about squaring in SQL in Khan Academy because it has a whole different thing? So that didn't work. Let me look. Oh, there's documentation. Okay. So, um, creating tables, inserting data using primary keys. I need functions here. So filter with multiple conditions, select everything, filter with a condition, filter, blah, 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 order, aggregate, grouping data, no, joined, updating, no, that's not what I want. Is there anything that has to do with power? Nope. How about squaring? Squaring? No? Okay, great. Does like nobody want to do this here? Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, does anybody want to tell me how to square in SQL in Khan Academy? That would be great. Select everything, blah, blah, blah. It would probably be here. No, here. No, where is it? Filter with conditions. Let me open that up. No, not what I want. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know how to square in SQL. I don't think I've ever done it. What if I just select, instead of rounding, what if I just do power and get rid of that? What do you mean? What do you mean? Power function in SQL. Pretty sure it exists. It's literally saying it. It's just, I know it's a different version. different, so how do you spell different? Different ways of squaring in SQL. Hmm. Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna continue this tomorrow because girl has no idea how to score on SQL. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But we were doing good. We were doing good. So the idea is to square it, right? To get the m squares, and I'll have to take all of those columns and multiply it by the weight in kilograms, which thankfully we already have. If I scroll up, there is a weight in kilograms. I could just scroll up here. So there is a weight in kilograms column, which is perfect. So no work for that. There's so many tabs. Okay. And then that would be my BMI. And then I can use case to be like, okay, the case, so do this when the case is when the BMI is greater than, I'll use this chart. So greater than 30, then the NBA player is obese. If the BMI is greater than, um, so if it's greater than 25, less than 30, then they're overweight. If they're greater than 18.5, less than 25, then they're normal. And then if they're just less than 18.5, then they're underweight. So that's the idea. I'll do that tomorrow or whenever I get back to this. And that's it for today. Bye.